Hi everyone, John on page, and I'm going to start by smooshing some paint on my page. This is just sketch paper and I've got several colors here. I'm using acrylic paint. Usually for this I will use watercolors, but not everyone has them or like them. And I've picked most of it doesn't have a brand, it's just from the cheap store, and I'm picking them just by the color that I like. And I've got some yellow, some orangey yellow, orange, and some this is a primary magenta. I don't know if I will use it. I'm just going to start playing, and I've taken this acrylic block that usually I use for putting stamps on, and any non-porous surface will do. I'm putting some acrylic paint here, and I'm going to take a little bit of water, and I want to dilute it, and so it will be watery and will just spread on the page. I'll do it here better. I think I've put too much paint, but never mind, I'll just continue adding water until I have a nice consistency. Just dabbing to get rid of what you call this, lumps in the paint. Yeah, just a little bit more water. Okay, I've got it. Now I think that maybe I'll just spray my page also, that maybe it will help the paint. And this is completely random, and as you can see, just having fun with it and just trying to get rid of this rectangles I got here, and just a little bit here, whatever. Okay, so I've got a nice start. Cleaning my brush a little bit with water. I always have a jar with water on the side here. Let's clean this. Now you can wait for your paint to dry and then do the other paint, or you can continue and let them mix. I think that I will let this dry, although it would be nice if some of it will blend together. I think I need to let this be. So for each each color I probably will wait for it to dry. Now it doesn't have to be a hard surface. You can do it on a piece of acetate like this, and also it will probably be easier to just smooth the paint and not have the rectangle shape, which I think that's what I will do with the next paint. So I'll be back when this is dry. I'm back, and now I'm going to I just went for the darker orange and not this one, and let's smoosh some paint quite randomly, having fun. Yeah, I like it. Just a little bit here, and that's it. So now I again need to wait for this to dry, and then I'm going for a little bit of the magenta. Okay, moving on to the magenta, I am thinking I'm going to do some splattering instead of smooshing, and if it won't be enough, then I will smoosh some paint. I'm taking a fan brush because it's easier to do splattering with a fan brush, but you can do it with any other brush. And so I'm just splattering the magenta. And what I'm going to do now that I'm doing it, decided on something else. I'm just going to continue splattering like this, and now I'm going to smoosh it. Yeah. So it's a little bit more in control, and just, yeah, just a hint of the magenta, and so it won't overwhelm my page. Okay, so this needs to be dry completely before I continue, and I need to clean the mess all around. I'll be back. Okay, so everything is dry. Now I want to add some patterns, some details to my background to make it interesting. I've got some gold paint here and white. I am starting with the white. I want more white to the edges where my paint went there, and also to add some detail. I'm taking this stencil with the white makeup sponge, and I'm going to start stenciling. Again, this is going to be quite random. Except for what I've said, that I wanted more white in the edges. Otherwise, I'm putting it wherever it just seems to work. I don't know. Let's do some here. I know now you can hardly see it. It's mostly to the edges, but I want also to go in. So as I said, quite random, and we'll see where it's going. So a little bit on the inside, and I'm doing it gently. It doesn't have to be, I don't want it to be completely white. I don't want it to cover the whole background. It's just creating a pattern and interest. And it doesn't have a stencil like this. It can be anything that you like. Yeah. Don't know how much of it you can see, but it's here, and it does add a pattern, an interesting pattern to the page. Some visual texture. Okay, I just think I need to add in several places where I've already done a little bit more of the white, so it would be more noticeable. That's why you always start with less and then add as you go. Yeah, I like it. Just a little bit more here. Yes. Okay, moving on. So I've got the gold here, and I've got this stencil that, again, I'm just going to go randomly around the page. Now, sadly, metallics don't show on a video, and maybe if I will tilt later on the page you can see it. but it's there. It's there, and I will probably, now that I'm looking at it, I will probably add some more of this with maybe yellow. I don't know. It's still just a background, so there is a need to be a balance between adding details and interest, but not to that they will overtake and become the focal point. Yeah, you can hardly see it, even I hardly see it. Let's see. I don't know. I'll leave it be, and maybe later I will add something more. I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll continue. Okay, so moving on. I've taken these two distress inks. I've got Bundled Sage and Speckled Egg. I have this stamp I'm going to stamp in the background, and I went with this color so it will, as I said, keep in the background. It's just a hint of the ginkgo leaf, and you will see why I'm using this stamp in a few minutes. So again, just part of the background. And I've got this. Now I decided that I still want this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spread this randomly. I've got, this is a makeup sponge, and I think I have a larger one, so we won't be here all day. What's going on? You can hardly see it. Let's take a makeup sponge. Maybe it will be better. I don't know what's going on today. Let's take another color. Maybe it's dry. I don't know. Let's continue with the same. If this doesn't work, I'm giving up. I'm spreading some of this stencil on my page. Not worth it. I don't know what's going on. I'm so trying not to overwhelm my page that you can hardly see it. These are better. Once again. Okay. Just need more to put more pressure. Okay, that's it. Now, focal point. I've already made it, but I'm going to show you how to make it. And here are my ginkgo leaves that are going to be here. I don't know, I'm just playing. I've made lots of them so I can play with how many and where, and I don't know, just as I said, playing with it. We'll see. Yeah, I think that will do it. So I need to glue them down, but I want to show you how to make them. It's so simple, you won't believe it. So let's take this. Okay, so this is one of my stencils that I made, but it's just, you do a search for free printable ginkgo leaves or whatever you want, any kind of leaves or any kind of flower, whatever. And there are all so many free printables out there on the internet, and as long as it's for personal use, you can print and do many things with them. So this, I used my stencil and I just taken a pencil, and as you can see, I've traced the leaves very simply, like so. Okay, so this is very simple. Now this is a watercolor paper, and it's important that you use a watercolor paper, and I will explain. So my ginkgo leaves, these are made with watercolors, but because watercolors are a lot of the time are expensive, although I have a kit I've purchased from AliExpress, no brand, no nothing, and I'm really I really like it. So it can be accessible, but not everyone like watercolors. I used to hate them because I couldn't control them. Nowadays I don't care. I'm not looking to control anything. I like things that are more free and squiggly. So I want to show you how you can create the same thing with just felt pens. It's so easy, and even the felt pens don't need to be any kind of brand. Okay, whatever you have you can use, and these are from the cheap store. So again, no brand, really, you can use whatever you have. And the only thing that is important is that you have a watercolor paper. If it's not on watercolor paper, it doesn't work as well. So I'm just taking this, and I'm starting to color my ginkgo leaf, and you can do it however you want, and put the color wherever you like. Okay, and whatever colors you like, it's very free. You can do whatever you want. Now I'm coloring it, and I'm not even very precise. I don't care. I'm putting some color, as you can see. Let's move on. And wait for it. After I'm finished coloring, it would still, I will show you how it still will look like watercolor, as if you used watercolor paint. Okay, so we've got this. Now I'm taking a brush, this is number 1 watercolor brush, and I'm dipping it into water like so, and now I'm just going to go all over what I've colored. And sometimes it works instantly, sometimes it'll takes a few seconds. It activates, let's call it the ink of the felt pen, felt marker, whatever, and it blends, and you still get a watercolor effect. Just going over this, and as you can see, the colors are blending, and you have a really nice watercolor effect. Now, of course, now you have to wait for it to dry before you do anything to it. I went on top of it with a Signo Uniball gold pen, and I traced around the shape like so, and then I just went and done this kind of lines really free, nothing to it. And that's how you've got this kind of ginkgo leaves. And of course you need to fussy cut it. And again, I'm nowadays I'm not that fussy about fussy cutting. I find that if I leave like a hair of white, it only adds to the whole thing. It's like I've highlighted whatever I've cut out. So, and even if you leave a little bit of white and you don't like it, you can always go with a makeup sponge around with either an ink pad or a very little acrylic paint, and you can dab on top of the white and get rid of it if you don't like it. So even the fussy cutting is not fussy anymore. So getting back to my page, let's move this before I have an accident with the water. I'm just going to put some, I think I'll just use some glue stick in the back. Okay. Next. I've got too much stuff going on here. As always, it gets messy. Okay. It's a shame that the gold didn't work. It would have worked really nicely with the gold I have on the ginkgo leaves, but never mind. Yeah. Okay. Just one more thing. I don't know why, I really like when I have text in the background, so I'm thinking of taking some one of my stamps and just putting some, I've got this stamps, this I've ordered it a long time ago from AliExpress. What I liked about it, that I had different fonts for each one. I didn't care what it said, what was written. I just liked that I had different fonts. And I think, let's see, maybe, no, what color do I want? I want something that will look the same as here. I've got this turquoise by Watercolor. I'm going to stamp it, not completely, it just needs to be, yeah. This is it. I thought about doing some shading underneath each one, but I really like it. I'm leaving it be. This is my page and I'm leaving it as is. So this is it. I hope you liked it. I hope you have fun, especially trying to do what I've showed you with the felt pens and creating a watercolor effect. Thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.